Hey guys, it's Magda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build. So, today I am building a foster family home in the world of San Sequoia, which is the world that came with the expansion pack Growing Together. And honestly, this world is so beautiful. I feel like I don't build enough in it. And I feel like not only does it have really good lighting, but the lots are a perfect size. They're not too big, so I don't get overwhelmed when building in this world. And another thing is, I really like how some of these lots have like a dip, I guess you could say, like a dip in the sidewalk. So you can actually build a driveway um, for these houses, and it looks a little bit more realistic. So I really like that. One thing that I am working on as well is for the roof pieces. I I'm adding like these corners, roof pieces to the actual corner of the roof, to kind of add like an extra trim to it, and I feel like it looks a bit more realistic as well. I feel like you see those types of like roof pieces in real life. So I really enjoy doing that for this build. And another thing that I'm working on as well is adding more flower boxes for my builds. I feel like I kind of get shy of building or adding flower boxes to my builds. I feel like realistically, it's not a thing that we do in real life, adding as much in like every window in real life. I feel like that would be hard to maintain. And then also like hard to reach to like water them and such. But I feel like in The Sims, it just looks appropriate. I feel like it just makes the houses look prettier. So that's something that I've been doing as well. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the overall look of this house, of how it came out. This house does have 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then the parent suite is downstairs. So also the garage is actually a garage for this house. Normally I do try to make the garage something else more useful. Usually tends to be the master suite or a home office, maybe even the kitchen or a bathroom. But for this house, surprisingly, there was a lot of space. So I actually do make it into an actual garage, and then the parent suite is downstairs. So I'm really pleased with how it came out. I think I do work on the actual floor plan of the house on camera. The only thing that I do leave out, I think, is like some of the upstairs. I think I kind of like play with a little bit more, so maybe that is left out. But I really like how everything came out as far as the floor plan, just because I feel like everything flows nicely when it comes to building these homes. um I feel like I build them a little bit more um modern to what you would see like a newer home nowadays. And what I mean by that is like maybe like an open floor plan, or maybe even like adding a living room towards the back of the house for like more privacy. um or I don't know, I feel like little things like that you see more in like newer homes. I don't know if that makes sense. So I really like how this floor plan came out. It just, everything just flowed nicely. I feel like you can get to one room or the other by like different types of like ways. There's several entrances to like the living room or the kitchen or the dining room. I feel like they're all kind of connected. So I really like that. I like making sure that, there's several entrances when it comes to those living spaces. Um, the only thing is this house doesn't really have much of a big backyard, more of like a side yard. But I did add like a small toddler pool, and then also of course like a barbecue grill, and then like a picnic table outside as well. So there's still things to do. Oh, and I think I also do a swing set. So yeah, so you have like plenty of room to like, have your Sims do outside or outdoorsy stuff. So I feel like it was a decent size. And then also because there's not really much stuff like behind this house in like the other lot. when it comes to those type of houses, I actually pretend in my head like that's part of the backyard as well. So even though like, in the actual game, you can't really add anything past those boundaries, but I don't know, I like to think that that's part of the yard too. So, moving on into the kitchen now, I really like how the color scheme came together, and I feel like the kitchen just put a, um, I guess like the overall objective or like how the rest of the house color scheme was going to be like, because I really didn't have an idea. As you see here, I was playing with this tile, which I think came from like Jungle Adventure, and I wanted to try to do a little bit something different because I feel like I normally go for like neutral colors when it comes to like family homes. So I was trying to do something different, but I ended up just going with like one of these backsplashes that is like, I think came from Parenthood as well, but matches more with the actual counters that I have placed here. It's the gray and black one. Yeah, that's the one that sticks. So I pretty much use this to kind of like the color scheme for the entire house. So you'll see like a lot of like grays and blacks and like browns and stuff. Not so modern, I wouldn't say, just kind of like a traditional suburban home. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. And then I like to have like in mind that this is a family that has maybe um have had foster kids in their family, or maybe they've even adopted their children. So in my head, I wasn't really too sure of how the actual dynamic of the family was, but I do add like the family board, or like the chore list, the calendar and stuff that came from Parenthood, I believe. Throughout, well, I add items like that throughout the house to make it seem like um, this family is, like active with when it comes to their kids and their activities and stuff. So I really like how that came out. And I want to say I move into the dining room here shortly. I want to make sure that there's like plenty of room for everything that I want to place before moving on to like other rooms. So I do go back into the kitchen and add more clutter items in just a moment, especially the shelf that's like right next to the sink. I do clutter it up in just a moment, but I like to go back and forth. And if you've seen my videos, you're probably used to that. But the reason I do that is because before I invest so much time in like cluttering the kitchen or like a bedroom or something, I want to make sure I have enough room in other rooms to make sure I have room to place everything that I want. So that is the thought process behind that. I'm sorry if it makes you a little bit dizzy. But anyways, so I do move on here into the dining room. And I feel like it's not, I mean, I guess you can consider it formal. Um, I wanted to place more different items. I feel like I normally do place like the corner shelf that comes from base game, I think, in like dining rooms. So I wanted to avoid doing that for this dining room. So I think I do place like a table and like the globe, maybe. I forget what it was. But we'll see that here in just a moment. I do want to say though, I do place, I want to say 3 toddler eating chairs, high chairs. I don't know. Well, I do have 3 toddler beds in one of the rooms. Um, and I wasn't really anticipating that this house was gonna have any toddlers, but honestly, when it came to building this kitchen, there was some like empty space right in front of the window to the left to where the plant is at, and I didn't want to place like a breakfast table there just because you can literally see like the dining table in the back and it's like so close. I didn't want to add 2 tables so close, even though I think I had the room to do so. I just felt like I looked a bit repetitive. So what I did to fill up that space is added those high chairs. And that's kind of how I got the idea that we're having toddlers in this house. But yeah, you can definitely delete them if you don't want to play with toddlers. Because I know, especially for those high chairs, it gets very glitchy. I know when I've played the game, I'm not sure if they fixed it, but it gets a little bit crazy when placing toddlers, especially if you have more than one, in the actual high chairs. Like for some reason, the Sims kind of go crazy with placing them back and forth. But anyways, yeah, so that, you guys can delete that and kind of tweak this house to what your family needs for your Sims. But yeah, I really like this back counter. I placed that. I'm not sure if that's like a item that came from cottage living, but I do place it in the kitchen, and I liked how that corner was more of like a family corner. So I feel like that's where like the mail goes, like report cards, any like family events or like stuff like that. That's usually the space for that. So I really like that. But anyways, we are back in the dining room, and for the dining room, again, I wanted to place things that I normally do not place in dining rooms. So, I do have this table. I'm not sure what pack it comes from. I'm not sure if it's from Growing Together. I don't know. I'm not good with like remembering where each item comes from. I know it's one of like the expansion packs, but I just don't know which one. But yeah, so I just cluttered it up with this vase, some books. I don't think I add any plants just because there was going to be a plant for like the centerpiece on the actual dining table. So I didn't want to add another plant. And I think there was a plant right beside it too. So I tend to not want to do like repetitive or like repeat an item back and forth. So that is my thought process behind that. But I am working on the living room. And for the living room, again, kind of going with the same color scheme that we have in the kitchen and the dining room. So a lot of like browns and blues, and like woods type of texture. I really like how it came out. I struggle with placing something near that back wall to where the windows are. I didn't want to place like another window just because this living room is so big to where it became like, I don't know, I just didn't want like a back wall of window. So I think what I did is I just kind of moved the window a little bit over to kind of fill up that space. And I really like how I added the breakfast table here. I didn't know what else to place, and I feel like it made sense because one, you have like the dining room in the other room, and then here is like maybe where they get together for like quick meals, especially since you have like the TV there, and then also you have space to add plenty of Sims in this household. So adding a lot of like sitting for to eat, I feel like makes sense. So that was my thought process, and I had to fill it up with something. And I already have like a little office nook upstairs and downstairs as well. So I didn't want to add another one right here. So I'm really pleased with how it came out though. I do have like a fish tank as well. And then just cluttering up the living room a little bit more. Those books, the stack of books is always my go-to for cluttering up items. And I want to say we do have a pet in this household. I want to say it would probably be a dog because I don't have a litter box in the household. So I always add two bowls, just because realistically, of course, we always have like food and water bowl for your pets. And in The Sims, from what my knowledge is, the pets for some reason do not drink water, just food. But I like to add that just for it to look a bit more realistic. And then when it comes to this area right here, I really didn't know what to do with it at first. I was thinking maybe a piano, but I feel like a piano was just too formal for this house because, again, I feel like this is just like a traditional home. I didn't want to add a piano and it making it look a little bit more formal. So I placed a desk and a computer in that area, even though we do have one upstairs as well. But I do work in, I'm working in the garage now. I do place this fake car that comes from Get Together, I believe. Um, and yeah, I feel like it makes it look a bit more realistic. I do add I add some bikes towards the end in the actual garage. I don't think I've ever done that, but it's very realistic because that's normally where people keep their bikes, is in the actual garage. So I really like that. And then I also add a foosball table. Growing up, we in our garage we had a pool table at one point, and also a foosball table. It was a bit smaller, but I feel like sometimes, the garages are used for other purposes, and for like sometimes placing these bigger items that normally would not fit in like another room in the house. So yeah, I feel like it was kind of realistic. I've even seen like people put like little basketball hoops in the actual garage too, and it being like a hangout spot for the kids. So that's probably something I'll add in another house. But I really liked placing that foosball table in the garage. And now we're moving on into the parents' bedroom, which honestly is not my favorite bedroom in this house. I don't know, I feel like because it was so long, I guess, in a way, and then like the bed, I don't know, it was just like something about it that was not my favorite. I wanted to have the same color scheme as like the rest of the house. I do that a lot when it comes to my builds. And my thought process is because if this is the parents' house, they've decorated the house and like the other rooms in the house, most likely they're going to decorate their own room similar to it. So that's kind of my thought process behind it. So again, a lot of like browns and blues. I use those tables, those end tables that I feel like came from Cats and Dogs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I feel like this room is just very very neutral. Not mad at it, and I feel like it kind of looks like the rest of the house, which I like. And I do leave out the bathroom for this bedroom, I believe. I think the only bathroom that's recorded on camera is the bathroom for the kids. So this house has 2.5 bathrooms. Well, actually, no. I think it actually might be three like full bathrooms because I think the bathroom downstairs that the guests use, I think it was big enough to add a shower. So I really really like that. And then for the upstairs bathroom, I think I do like a shower tub combo. So that way you guys can use it for pets and toddlers. So yeah, and I wanted to do something different because I feel like for my bathrooms, I normally do like the same color scheme. I'm not sure if it looks any differently from the ones I've built in the past, but something that I know for sure I do a lot in my builds is I always like to place like a shelf of some sort, especially if I have the counter space like this for like storage, because I feel like it's very realistic. I feel like something that I would want to see in The Sims that I don't know, I feel like would make it realistic is add like for them to place a shelf that we can place like behind the toilet. Um, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I feel like we see them in houses that have like smaller bathrooms. Like you'll see the shelf, and it's like a removable shelf, so it's not like built in like a cabinet or anything. Um, but yeah, I feel like that'd be cool. To kind of place it on top of like the toilet and just add more like clutter items on there. So yeah, I really like that. But anyways, I do move on downstairs because I forgot that I did not do the entryway. And for the entryway, I really didn't do much to it. I feel like this house is so big. I really didn't worry too much about having something functional in this entryway. So I just placed clutter items in that entry table and just the chair, just called it a day. So moving on to the teenage daughter's bedroom, I really like the color scheme for this room. Normally, I feel like I do for teenage daughters, I do like pink and purple or even blue. I feel like I haven't really done pink, orange, and like red in a minute. So I'm really pleased with how it came out. And honestly, I got the inspiration from the bed. This bed is from the high school expansion pack. So I just kind of based the color scheme off of that, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. I want to say I do like a mirror, the mirror with the lights on it. I forget which pack it comes from. Towards the corner, right underneath the lanterns, and then something else that I add is this dresser that I'll pull out here in just a moment. And the dresser is from the movie Hangout stuff pack, I think is what it's called. I feel like I don't use this dresser enough. There's other like swatches that are a little bit more bright and like distressed, and yeah, I feel like it's really pretty, and I feel like it goes overall with like the the theme for the bedroom, just because it has like the orangey like wood tones and then the flowers on it. It's really pretty. And then I actually use some more storage units, or like storage cubes, dressers, I guess is what you call them. That did come from the high school pack, I think, as well. And I use like the black swatch, and I really like it because it has like the gold stars, or like gold detailing, which I feel like makes sense. It matched the metal railing to the bed. So I really like that. And then I place the gold star mirror right above it. And I know I already have another mirror in the room, but I don't know. I feel like I really liked how it came out and how it matched. So I wanted to make sure I place something above the dresser, just because I do have like a lot of like posters and pictures throughout the whole room. I didn't want to add like another picture right above the those dressers. And then for the mirror, for like the standing mirror, I really liked how I placed like clutter items around it, and like makeup items, I think. And what I envisioned is probably like this sim probably gets ready there in front of that mirror. That's something that I did growing up in my bedroom. Even though I had a mirror above my dresser, I feel like I was able to get closer to like my face to do my makeup. Um, in the mirror, like the standing mirror in my bedroom. And yeah, so I feel like that was kind of realistic for this bedroom, and I really liked it. I feel like I just used a lot of the high school expansion pack items for this room. I really wanted to add more of like a gold and like flowery vibe to this room. And I feel like I achieved it. I really like the clutter items that I added. And then I feel like this sim is probably more like on the messier side. So I just added like just random clutter items on the floor as well. And I'm really pleased with how it came out. For the other bedrooms, I maybe envision that there's like maybe twins or just siblings that are in the other bedroom. And I think I did it for like a girl and a boy. So I decorated one half for it to be for a girl sim, and another one for like a boy sim. I'm not sure if they are twins or if they're just really close in age. Which is this bedroom, this green bedroom. Originally I was gonna do like two full bunk beds, so having like a bed at the bottom and top. But honestly, I feel like that would have been a lot of Sims in one room. It probably wouldn't be much of an issue in the game, but I don't know. I feel like realistically, this would probably be I don't know. I feel like it could kind of get messy with having so many kids living in just one bedroom like this, especially if they're not close in age. I don't know. I feel like I didn't like that. So I did end up deleting the bottom bunks and placing, I don't know if it was like a desk for one of them. And then for the other one, I think I did like a dollhouse. I'm not sure. I do go back and change it. I wanted you guys to see what the overall thought process was. And I kind of left it like that because I figured I was going to go back because I wasn't liking it. But I wanted you guys to see where the thought process was. So I just left it. And then for the toddler rooms, I was going to do four, but again, thinking that's too many kids in one room, I just did three. And again, not sure what the dynamic is, not sure if they're triplets, if they're, adopted or fostered, not sure what this dynamic is. I just thought it would be neat to have like three toddlers at once. And just very neutral when it comes to like the color scheme in this bedroom. I feel like I didn't really decorate it for a specific type of ginger like preference. So yeah, I feel like it was just a regular, maybe infant room at one point, but then, went up to the toddler age. So I do have the changing table, and then I have this chair in the back, the reclining one, which I think I just switch it out for like the actual, like, um, what am I trying to say? The actual chair that came from Growing Together, which is like the rocking one for like the nursery. I think I switched it to that one. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I just kind of just did a couple art pieces and didn't clutter it too much. One thing that I do keep in mind though for the final bedroom on that second floor, that one is just very neutral. I feel like that's just a spare bedroom, possibly for a foster child or even a guest bedroom. I feel like that's just the vacant room where we're not, it's not specific to any type of sim. It's just very neutral. So I didn't really do too much decorating in that other room, just kept it simple. I think I used more of like a yellow, not yeller, yellow color scheme. And yeah, just kept it very neutral. I feel like I wanted it to feel like that room was just easy to decorate if someone were to come live there temporarily, to kind of make it their own. So that's kind of what I was going for, which you will see here in just a moment. And I was actually going to place a desk in the actual, we're going to say the extra room is what we're going to call it. And the extra room is where I was going to place the desk, but I actually move it over to the actual like landing area upstairs, just because I really didn't have anything to place there. And I feel like it made sense. That way, anybody in the house can use that desk. And I feel like it's more like a homework desk. I don't have a computer on there, I don't think. But there's definitely space if you guys want to add one onto it. And then the actual computer I actually do downstairs. In like the, not the entry, but like it's like connected to the entry. It's like that extra space in between, which you guys will see here in just a moment. Um, and I think I do two dressers in this extra room as well. I have one that came from the high school expansion pack, and then I do another one, kind of like the connected cubes, or like I don't know what you would call those dressers. The same ones that I used for the teenage daughter's room, but in a different swatch, a more of a neutral color. I place it in the extras, in the extra bedroom as well. So I do move on a little bit into the other kids' bedroom that I mentioned that I wasn't too sure about. Um, and I was just gonna do like, I was gonna do like an even thing for both. So whatever I had for one, I was gonna have for the other. Because I was thinking that maybe this is like a foster um, kid's bedroom, but I scratched that out, and then I just wanted to add more personality to it. I feel like because I was going to have the extra bedroom to be for like the foster child, and here's where I actually think more of their personalities. I feel like one of them is maybe more creative than the other. Maybe the other sim is more into like reading and like science and stuff. So I kind of just thought about the personalities and just decorated it as such. Each of them does have a chair or like a little beanbag to kind of hang out underneath their bunk bed, and they also have like a giant stuffed animal, I think. Um, and I think the girl may have a dollhouse, or no, I think I just do the toy box there near her bunk bed. And then I really like the dresser that I placed in here as well, just because it's very neutral. I feel like it goes with the rest of like the bedroom. I didn't want it to be specific to one or the other. And then I place a animal plant on top of the dresser and just kind of clutter it up. I think I do like a baseball cap and a nightlight, and I think that's it. I really like to add that animal plant when it comes to kids' bedrooms. I feel like it's just fun to add it into the kids' bedrooms. And I want to say I do add a dollhouse, or I think the toy box is the one that stays near the bunk bed. And then just add like little toys on the rug. I don't think I add any more items specifically for the bedroom besides that. And of course, none of the rooms have a computer. Again, because the computer is like downstairs, I feel like that's kind of like the family computer that anyone can use. There's not like an official home office for this house. Even though I feel like there'd probably be enough room, you could probably close off like the space that's downstairs near the entryway. You can probably close it off and just add a home office, or even squeeze it up in one of these bedrooms, kind of make one room smaller than the other, and maybe adding it up here. So yeah, there's plenty of space, or even the garage, because I feel like the garage, honestly, it's not necessary. I just did it because there was the space, but I feel like you can definitely turn the garage into maybe an office, or even like a grandparent suite, and make this like a generational home. I feel like that would be a really good idea as well. Which actually I don't think I've done here recently, a generational home. I might do that. But yeah, adding like two suites downstairs, one for the parents and then one for the grandparents. I feel like that would be nice. But yeah, just finishing up this loft area. Again, I added desk, not a computer, and thinking that this is just probably like a homework space. And yeah, I really liked how it came out. I feel like I wanted to make use of the space and add something functional. So that's what I did. And then moving on to the downstairs. So this is the area that I was like talking about, which is just like an extra space down here. I think I just leave the desk. Normally I like to add like a bookshelf behind desk sometimes. But I don't do that here, I don't think. And I actually did want to originally close off this space, but I feel like it kind of looked awkward to my liking, so I just left it opened. But I really liked everything that I placed in here because I feel like it matches the overall color scheme of the rest of the house. Again, playing in with like the neutrals and like the light beige and browns and stuff. So I'm really pleased with how it came out. I do want to say I add more clutter items on the desk. I want to say off camera, so you do see that in the screenshots that I do place more items there. And then here shortly we will be going into the backyard, and I just place like more items throughout the house. I do place a table behind the couch just because it was kind of empty there. So I just do like some clutter items there. And in that little space going into like the garage or the parents' bedroom, I add like a little, kind of like a little landing area too. I imagine that that's where the kids drop their book bags and their coats and stuff coming in from the garage into the house. And yeah, here shortly we'll be moving on officially to the outside. And for the outside, again, I really didn't add much just because we really don't have much of a backyard, more of a side yard. And I do have the swing set, the grill. I do add some couches in the back patio. And then a picnic table, or like just like, I'm not sure if it's a picnic table or just like an outdoor table. Something that I really liked as well is adding like this little fountain on the wall. I feel like, I don't know, maybe like one of the Sims here, one of the adult Sims likes keeping the backyard really pretty, and I don't know, I feel like it was maybe something like a home project that they did. So I really like that. I don't think I've ever placed that in one of my builds. And yeah, so this is what I mean with like the flower boxes. I'm not sure if I keep all of them, but yeah, just I wanted to make more use of them. I feel like I don't use them enough, and honestly, it just makes the space a bit prettier. So that is what I did. I didn't remember that I added some monkey bars, so I do have that. And I think here I just kind of move on into more of like the landscaping and just making it feel more lived in. And I think we are going to be moving on into the screenshots here in just a moment. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know of any suggestions or comments that you guys may have down in the comments below. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
I used to think the world of you, but somewhere down the line we changed and we grew and we fell out of touch as time goes by. Still I'm holding on to you. I know that it's time for me to let you go. I know that it's time for us to part, though it breaks my heart. Baby, it's time for me to face the truth and say it out loud. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore, like I used to do before. Used to be inseparable. I used to stand by you. Now I'm only holding on to a bittersweet memory of you. Oh, I wish it wasn't true. I know that it's time for me to let you go. I know that it's time for us to part, though it breaks my heart. Baby, it's time for me to face the truth and say it out loud. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore, like I used to do before. I used to think the world of you, somewhere down the line